What's going on, yo? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, yo? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Fair use, fair use. Fair use, fair use. Mr. Z is missing something. Yes, we are. I guess we gotta. Oh, here I go, right here in front of my face, and there we go. Oh, okay. All right. So that's that. All right. So shout out to Passport OG. Link is in the description box. Link is in the description box. So we will be playing this link. I'm going somewhere with this. It's somewhat obvious, but somewhat not. And we're going to use this clip from Mouse Jones. The title is Y'all Must Have Forgot. Y'all must have forgot. This is the same Mouse from the Grapevine. You know, with Ashley Acuna and Saran, right? What's the young sister name that passed? Aisha, I think it was, right? And Uchechi, huh? And Bobo. There was a number of reoccurring guests. And Doug, huh? Passport OG says, really? Yes, that's the same Mouse from the Grapevine. Huh? A lot of the pictures have been scrubbed from Google, but guess what? We got one of the pictures, yes, with the LA hat. That's the same, excuse me, that's the same Mouse. Huh? You want to know why Mouse sounds the way he does. And you're right, Passport OG. Yeah, he was being a bit comical and he was being dead ass serious. Because he's been properly trained by the likes of Ashley, Acuna, Uchechi, and the rest of them that used to be on the Grapevine. Yeah, it's the same Mouse. Shout out to Passport OG for playing into the title. Y'all must have forgot. Passport OG said I did. Right? Yes, Passport OG, that's the same Mouse. Right? You want to know why he sounds the way he does? He had good teaching indoctrination. He's been educated, indoctrinated the right way, the wrong way. Huh? So let's play this clip from Passport OG. Shout out to Passport OG. And there's something we're gonna say here. We're going somewhere with this. So y'all excuse the background noise if you hear some background noise. Reckless streams, tax in effect, and we'll get underway. Here you guys go.
Let me tell y'all this is how I feel. If these niggas agree, fine. You passport brother niggas are sick. You niggas are sick, you niggas are weak, and I hope something bad happens to all you.
Bros is trash?
Yeah, they bad work, bro.
Trash?
No. They're going over there to marry them, bring them over here. And this is truly how I feel. Any that willingly plays down, you're a weak, bro. I have no respect for you. Any that literally you shoot down, you aim to play down, you're a weak, bro. I have no respect for you.
It's always interesting when you look at the kind of logic that people use against black men exercising their own options and essentially using their free will to make decisions for their own lives. And it goes basically to attacking character and saying basically that you're not in a position to make any kind of decision. Enter Paul Pierce.
That's black man. I'm telling y'all, we need to follow him first my 10 steps. You see, he cracking.
He's cracking.
Like, man, I'm out here with these.
Don't listen to Paul. There's women in the States that are cool and a vibe.
The States women, they don't have the same values as these women overseas. They value they man. They priority they man first.
Speaking about dating, you know, they're dragging Paul Pierce right now.
Oh, he's bugging.
You don't think that men should go across seas and get their wife?
Well, come on, bro. What you talking about? Come on, bro. How do you want this conversation? Let me know how you want the clip to go. Paul Pierce is a joke, bro. And
Jesus
it's a sad sight to see, bro.
Why you say that, bro?
Because I feel like I'm sound old. I miss when we didn't know about these. Played basketball and retired, and we didn't see them until they was on an analytics sport. So watching this destroy his legacy for the last 9 years because he just wants to sound dumb, it's crazy, bro. He got whatever and then came back to play and got lit. Like, that was fire to me.
Yeah.
It would have been cool if that's where it ended. But now you watch this just making a joke of himself, and it's dumb. And so when he said that, it just, first of all, it's lazy. He's not the first that said it. And if we're talking about the actual point, bro, you're a weak, bro. You really a weak. Because let's talk about it. The passport bros, that you prey on dumb, ill-equipped women to make your wife, bro, you a weak.
Say this, right? Let me.
And this come from they old women.
This is a comedian that goes by the name of Mouse Jones, I do believe, ironically wearing a shirt saying knowledge is power. He's repeating a trope that many black men who have chosen SYSBM or passport bros have heard before, that essentially you're weak. You're not a real man because you're choosing the quote unquote easy way out. And if you were a real black man, you would not choose this quote unquote easy way out. You would man up and date, well,
He lied. He's a liar.
He lied. He's a liar.
He lied. He's a liar. And that was something that I kind of just grasped and emotionally. I'm just like, bet you do your thing, but you're asking me for things that is within my possession, and for my right, I don't have to give it to you because it's in my possession. But when it came to the point that I saw that he chose to make it more about the police and things of the nature, that shows that he made a choice. So I just want to be more professional and just come professionally and let you guys know, like, hey, relationship thing, have no problem, and working with you guys. So I'm not tired. Right. Mm-hmm.
Was there any type of physical?
No, I didn't touch him. He didn't touch me. I will be honest.
God bless the passport thing. I feel you on getting an American woman, especially.
No, it's not that. She don't have to be American. I don't want that to be the thing. You're praying. You're going. Oh, you didn't. Hold on. You didn't. I'm gonna show you after this. It's not because I just want to address that part.
Let's cook.
It's not like he's saying I'm gonna go to Italy. I'm gonna go to France. I'm gonna go to one of these established countries. You're going to a third world country to find a woman that can't tell you what's 2 + 2. And you're gonna bring her back here and treat her like for the rest of your life because it's your concubine. You want to treat her like a concubine because you never had no power nowhere else. So now you're gonna exert your power over this woman.
I have to admit that as an American, there are times where I listen to the kind of discourse that's being had, frankly, in Black America about what's happening in education abroad, and I'm a bit embarrassed because even in the country with the wealthiest economy, well, second wealthiest now, compared to other countries, we should be dominating in math, science, and English, but we're not. And you're comparing this against countries with much less money, much less up-to-date advanced educational methods and materials, and they are at least on par, if not better. And to say something like these young ladies don't have any education is quite frankly ignorant.
No, I haven't hit him with anything, not at all. He had headphones that were mine, and I just grabbed them headphones, but not physically. If you would like to ask me, you can ask him, but I don't want anything.
I just want to get your side.
Okay, absolutely. You can ask him whatever you need to ask him. But yeah, you're a coward.
You're a coward. You're a coward. Is it Shakari?
Shakari.
Shakari.
Thank you so much, Shakari.
I would agree with everything. The reason I don't want that narrative to flourish, because in the 90s, when you were young, and SO no, you weren't alive yet, Ghost, the #1 movie was How Stella Got Her Groove Back.
Ghost was alive.
And it's the same. Oh, I can't do what I need to.
Yo, let him talk. Let him cook.
Yeah.
Let him cook.
You're on the bamboo raft and they're doing these limestone like mud massages all over your body and whatnot. And it turns out there are some women who are purposely going to Jamaica and having these experiences.
Now, my thing is, right? Oh, I can't. The men ain't treating me right in America. She went to Jamaica,
Jamaica, a third world country?
Yes. And then all these girls that go to Jamaica. How about them girls that was going viral because they put in the trash bag?
Bro,
it's the same.
Was the Jamaicans that rubbed the shit on the girl?
Yeah, Mouse, there's no way you're gonna justify high-earning women going to Jamaica. Ain't no different than a man going to a third world country and getting a chick that don't speak no English. That's the same equivalency of debauchery.
The number of women doing that is way less than the that are going over to poor, impoverished countries, snatching a woman away and destroying the rest of her life.
It's fascinating to me that in 2025, these kinds of conversations are live on the interweb for people to partake of because, well, first, this is a group of Black men, or at least one Black man, that's essentially criminalizing the behavior of other Black men. But the other reason, of course, is that there's this idealistic crucible that Black men are in where if you don't find a way to stay where you are and make it happen in a place where you have 4% of the world's population, that's a you issue. But on the other end, we have movies made about young ladies going overseas and getting their groove back. And speak of ruining someone's life.
What's your phone number for you? And like I said, I don't have a problem cooperating because, like I said, it was some relationship stuff. So that's why I came up.
Do you give your boarding pass by chance? Just so I can just take a photo of that.
The amount of anger you have, it's not my fault. It's not the men's fault. It's not the market's fault.
Shout out to Destro.
It's not my fault why you're so angry.
Doesn't serve an all to continue to bring it up. Doesn't serve an all to continue to bring it up.
But my biggest problem is the traditional stuff. Like, men gotta stop looking for a mom and look for somebody who is, if you want them to be like your mom in the sense of morals and values and family oriented and things like that, I understand it. But looking for somebody to literally, I'm an adult now, I've grown out, I moved out of the house, I need somebody to fulfill the mom role for me now that I'm not living with my mom. I don't like that. I don't like how he talked about what he wanted from Hallie. Hallie was successful, she was talented, she loved you. You admit that. She was loyal to you, and that wasn't enough for you. You wanted her despite her making a name for herself, which I would assume, you were attracted to those things. Her, outside of her beauty, her talent and all those things, that wasn't enough for you. You wanted this. And I just hate when I see that because I see that type of rhetoric a lot from when, not necessarily from me in dating, but with my friends that are dating. And I hate that.
Well, the amount of anger you have, it's not my fault. It's not the men's fault. It's not the market's fault. It's not my fault why you're so angry.
Now, I don't know. When I watch this clip, and the reason I say I pray this type of man doesn't find me for two reasons. One, because I do want somebody who looks at me more than just a mom. And I feel like that is an issue with a lot of women as they're dating. These men, there are a lot of men, let me try not to generalize, there are a lot of men who want you to step into that motherly role. They want you to take care of them just as their mother did. They want you to coddle them in those ways, rather than looking at you as somebody who you're building this partnership of life with. And it's hard out there. And that's why a lot of women, I think, these days are finding it not just hard to date, but why they choose to be single, because that is not who they want to be or spend the rest of their life with that type of person.
The amount of anger you have, it's not my fault. It's not the men's fault. It's not the market's fault. It's not my fault why you're so angry.
As a man, if you don't have house core job, don't look for a woman with house core job. And for the men that complain about women that do that, look for a man that has all three, and they don't have all three. We can do that. We are women. You want us. You need us. Y'all want one thing from us. And mad because we boss y'all around because you're a fucking servant. You're a provider, right? You're a protector, right? You're a security guard, and you're a goddamn assistant. Know your place. Stop being contradicting. And bow down. Because I'm sick of it.
The amount of anger you have, it's not my fault. It's not the men's fault. It's not the market's fault. It's not my fault why you're so angry.
Don't shoot the messenger. Feminism told y'all be strong, independent, and alone. And y'all followed it to the grave. Y'all push all the good men away, call submission slavery, and think being difficult is cute. Now y'all 35 and tired, looking around like, oh, where the good men at? Sis, they moved on. Real men want peace, not problems in a lace front and a loud voice. Feminism sold y'all freedom, but they didn't mention the price.
The amount of anger you have, it's not my fault. It's not the men's fault. It's not the market's fault. It's not my fault why you're so angry.
Okay, I'll stop spamming that. No, I'm not. Shout out to Death Show. Shout out to Death Show. Death Show. I need that clip, Death Show. I need that clip, Death Show. For real. Exactly. Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. And excuse my background. We're going to get a little noisy reckless streams. Y'all already know. Okay, y'all. All right. So with that, why did Mr. Z play these particular clips back to back? Once again, yes, that is the same mouse from Grapevine. That is the same mouse from Grapevine. Number two, yes, y'all heard what Rachel Lindsay said. But what Rachel Lindsay does not appreciate is that the men said, and I go another Kevin Samuels quote, the men said they want, well, Kevin said cheese pizza, Mr. Z gonna say pepperoni. The men said they want pepperoni pizza. That's what the men said. The men have not budged. You're not going to change our appetite. Even Dr. Sabrina Strings told you that.
Well, the situation is that a lot of women want to have a romance. They love the idea of this, of a man showing up to be selfless, because we so often meet men who are selfish. And to your point about the way in which there's a boyification going on, I think that that's pretty widely accepted. So, I mean, honestly, that's why you saw me roll my eyes. It's like, I don't even think you need to apologize for that. I think women everywhere are seeing that men are turning into boys. And part of it is because of feminism. And maybe people are going to be a little bit upset about that, but that's just the reality. Romance had very clear gender roles. It said men are strong and brave, women are polite, docile. So as feminism was saying, no, you know, this is a misrepresentation of who we are. We contain multitudes, and we also deserve the right to work in public. The more women made demands into incursions into what were, for about 200 years after the Enlightenment, so-called men's spaces, the more men started to first fight back against feminism, usually in ways that women could not see, which is a way in which they hold on to power. But then also they start to draw back romance. They're like, well, are we going to be putting ourselves out for these feminist harpies and these scary career women? No, we want polite, quiet women. These are the ones who restore our classic sense of manhood. And so there is a lot of fraught and contentious, I think, interactions happening between men and women, because men have always maintained the kind of woman that they want in the aggregate. It's not every single man, right? Whereas women increasingly are saying, we refuse to occupy those roles.
you will put other people in this organization at risk, and that organization does not want to take that risk. So you do not have this job anymore if you decline it. With any public health decision, there has to be a consequence to you not participating in that social contract.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
I think Mr. Z made his his message pretty damn clear this morning. No need for much other commentary, but we still gonna talk. Yeah. So appreciate where Mouse is coming from. Mouse is only reiterating what Rachel Lindsay is saying, what Kim Foster was saying about Passport Bros when her and Obsidian were going back and forth. What Bowser was saying, right? Mouse is only saying what Munchkin is saying. Mouse is saying this, it's not just a black woman thing. This is a Western woman thing. This is an American woman thing, but this is definitely a Western woman, an American woman thing, a black woman thing. No, you stay here and deal with us. What was the examples that Mouse gave of the countries that these men are avoiding? What did he say? Italy and England and France or something like that? Europe, where there's other shrewd, calculating, conniving ass women. Can women not be shrewd, calculating, and conniving in quote unquote developing countries? First off, as a black man referring to these places this way, which is kind of a European way, white European way of viewing these quote unquote underdeveloped countries, it's good to know that Mouse is supposed to be some type of pro-black, but yet when it comes to referring to these nations these way, he turns European real quick. Then he continues with the same trope of Western women, American women, black American women, which is y'all are going over there essentially to, it's like shooting fish in a barrel is what Mouse is saying. It's too easy. And the problem is, Mouse, appreciate what you're saying. Appreciate how it's hitting other men's ears, other black men's ears. Y'all are going over there for easier women, for more compliant women. And the problem is for women that's going to get on your program without a fight. Okay. For women that you don't have to convince and buy at $1 million to get on your program. This is a negative because she's going to adhere to your rules. Is this a joke? Am I being punked right now? Are there hidden cameras somewhere? These are negatives because what Mouse is saying is the same thing Rachel Lindsay is saying. By the way, they were speaking of Rachel Lindsay and Van Lathan were speaking about the Halle Berry and David Justice divorce, and apparently David Justice, you know, on one hand he's trying to clear his name, saying he's not the one who might have physically assaulted her because she spoke about her being physically assaulted by an ex. Rachel Lindsay had a problem with him being so having so much gusto with trying to clear his name, number one, but also number two, with him looking for a nurturing figure. We don't want to be your mothers. You don't have to be. We'll just find someone else. No, you got to stay here and change your desires and your appetite. What Mouse is saying is the same thing Rachel Lindsay is saying, is the same thing Munchkin is saying, is the same thing Bowser said when she was going back and forth with Obsidian. The Western women's issue is that too many of you, or is becoming too popular, even if you literally aren't going overseas and finding a wife overseas and doing the Passport Bros thing. Their issue is that you think about it. Their issue is that they have a problem with you not submitting yourself to them in their matriarchal, gynocratic ideas of relationship and quote unquote partnership. Huh? Rachel Lindsay used the word partner. And that's why the women stay single. We don't have a problem with that. Stay your ass single then. That's not a threat. What Rachel Lindsay is really saying is it's not fair. These men have a way out. You do too, ladies. You can go buy overseas peen also. Ah, but that messes with your idea of your womanhood. You don't want to do that. Huh? And it all comes down to this.
Fair. That's not fair! That is not fair!
Huh? And Shaw says, Europe, question mark. So black men should go from white nation to white continent to prove himself a real man. And thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. I don't think that's what Mouse is really trying to get at. What he's saying is a quote unquote developed country. Now, developed by whose ideals or rubric or by whose rules? But I get what Mouse is saying. Why are you going to these underdeveloped countries, air quotes, underdeveloped nations, underdeveloped countries with women who are in the struggle? You're cheating. What everyone is saying, whether it's Rachel Lindsay, whether it's Mouse, whether it's Munchkin, whether it's Bowser, right, is y'all are cheating. Y'all are cheating. When you go overseas to meet a woman who was socialized different, who was raised different, who was raised to cater to her man, who was raised to quote unquote coddle her man, this is a bad thing from your wife. I get what they're trying to do with that word coddle, because you're not a combative asshole, a little shrewd wannabe Milton Freeman, a little shrewd, calculated, cold, conniving, money grubbing Frederick Hayek. You're coddling your man. Huh? You're coddling the men, especially black men. So I get where they're going with it. It's not just Europe, or better yet, it's not just because it's a white continent. It's the idea that you're going to places where the women were socialized differently than quote unquote a Western or white way. Huh? They think you're cheating. Shout out to all the passport bros. Shout out to all the brothers who have wives from overseas that they brought back to America. Or shout out to the passport bros that have moved and stayed where they are. Shout out to you, Passport OG. Huh? Austin Holloman, all of you. That's why, if y'all know, and why am I just not remembering this? I should have brought up the interview with Austin Holloman when he was speaking to the older brother. Isaiah, what's his name? Isaiah, I can't remember the rest of his name. My apologies. Because they're all saying the same thing. You Western men, you American men, you Black American men are cheating. You're supposed to stay here and do what? Huh? We said we want pepperoni pizza. If America doesn't make pepperoni pizza, we're going to go find somewhere that makes pepperoni pizza. We didn't say tacos. We didn't say burgers. We definitely didn't say hot dogs. Huh? We said pepperoni pizza. Not spaghetti. Huh? Not a calzone. We said pepperoni pizza. That's what we said. Huh? All this weirdo talk. And once again, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat, Joe. What they're saying, it's not fair. What they're saying is that you're cheating. Shout out to Mouse. Mouse, they trained you good. Huh? They trained you good. Because he was joking, but he wasn't joking, though. He was reiterating what a lot of the women think and feel. What a lot of black women think and feel. You're going over there because it's easier. And the problem is, imagine saying this to yourself. I want to be a little rude, mean, condescending, asshole, money grubbing, asshole. I got my own money. We don't care. Huh? I want to be a materialistic, consumerist asshole, but you don't get to go somewhere else to find a woman that's going to be on your program. You better buy me so that I can pretend to be on your program for this next 3 years until I file for divorce on your ass and we're divorced within 5 years. 5 years if you're black, 8 to 10 years, maybe 12 if you're not black in America. Yeah, that's it. Shout out to Western women, American women, black American women. Yeah, that's it. Huh? Shout out to you. We said we want pepperoni pizza. If America no longer produce wives, the men with the resources will go find them a wife somewhere. If it's not in America, if it's not in different ethnicities or races or communities in America, then the men with the resources will go overseas. The men without the resources will practice SYSBM. The men with even less resources will just be single and get in where they could fit in. Dear America, dear Black America, you can't break us. Mouse, we said we want pepperoni. Shout out to the brother who gave Mouse some pushback and brought up how Stella got her groove back and had Mouse moonwalking. Oh, it's not the same. Huh? And I'm glad Mouse spoke the way he did, because what did this boil down to? Moral high grounding of women, but of course it did. But of course it did. This came down to it's different when the women do it. The moral high grounding of black women compared to black men. And that's exactly why black men take their ass overseas. That's why your young sons that don't got the money, they date out. Shout out to all those young men pulling up to the family reunion and Thanksgiving dinner and Christmas unwrapping of gifts with the Latina or the white girl, or maybe even the Asian if they could get them away from the white men. Huh? Their goal is to force you to change your appetite, dear black men, dear black manosphere. They're throwing a temper tantrum because they can't get you, the technocrats can't get you, the society can't get you to change your appetite and want these shrewd ass asshole women. Who was it who told the men to grow up? It was because Amanda Seals has spoken to this. A number of women have spoken to this, and essentially they say, "Men, you need to grow up and want a real woman." And when they say real woman, they mean they're rude, shrewd ass. They're running from us, opinionated women. Z, don't say it. Don't say it. Huh? These men want to be coddled. They want somebody who's going to treat them like their mother did. They want to be mothered. They want to be babied. Huh? I'm not your mother. And the men said, I bet. Plane ticket. That's not fair. You're cheating. Huh? Because that's what this comes down to. Dear black men, dear black manosphere, that's what they're saying. You're cheating. To all the passport bros, to all the SYSBM, you're cheating. Huh? Mouse is saying the same thing that Rachel Lindsay is saying. David Justice wanted to be coddled, and Halle Berry had a career, and she had this, and did that, and I'll give her this. Why did you end up marrying Halle Berry anyway if you knew that's what she was looking for? I'll give her that for argument's sake. Everything else, nope. Huh? She had a career, she did that, and y'all need to grow up and first, you don't tell the men what they should want. We want what we want. We haven't budged. That divorce, as you said, Rachel Lindsay, was about 30 years ago. Have men budged yet from our desires? Oops. Huh? Whether it's average men, whether it's elite men, have we budged one single inch from what we said we wanted? Huh? And nor will we ever. You get someone to pretend like that's not what they're looking for. See you in divorce court in 5 years. In less than 5 years. Huh? The men said they want what they want. And the ladies will either adhere to it or not. And if the ladies do not adhere to it, that's perfectly okay. Prepare to be single for the rest of your life then. Rachel Lindsay said, well, I'm not necessarily talking about me, but my friends, they're running into this in the dating scene, in the dating world. Yeah, because the men said they want what they want. Well, I have a career. You shouldn't want that. No, we said we want what we want. Either get on our program or get left. Either get on a program or get left. The technocrats have been trying hard. They've been working overtime for decades to change the appetite of the men, and the men haven't budged. Whether it's black men, whether it's white men, whether it's Latino men, whether it's Asian men, the men haven't budged. We want what we want, period. And we watched even, you know what, Mr. Z gonna have to play? I'm gonna play it in a minute. Even the men that tried to adhere to this weirdo Frankenstein ass crap that y'all got going on, they got their head taken off. We saw them walk in and out of divorce court. Oops. Weirdo partnership talk. Shout out to you, Josh from Waving the Red Flag, everyone. I don't know what these men's problem with the word partnership is. I think it's some anti-LGBTQ stuff, some homophobic stuff. You don't know what our problem with the word partnership is? The women don't mean it. Huh? The women don't mean it. Check that divorce rate. Huh? Let's let the UK white girl talk.
I was like, oh, this is going to make feminism look bad. Welcome to the Bell Hooks Book Club! Just as it was misguided for reformist feminist thinkers to see freedom as simply women having the right to be like powerful patriarchal men, so it was simplistic to imagine that the liberated man would simply become a woman in drag. Yet this was the model of freedom offered men by mainstream feminist thought. Men were expected to hold on to the ideas about strength and providing for others that were a part of patriarchal thought, while dropping their investment in domination and adding an investment in emotional growth. This vision of feminist masculinity was so fraught with contradictions, it was impossible to realise. No wonder then that men who cared, who were open to change, often just gave up, falling back on the patriarchal masculinity they found so problematic. The individual men who did take on the mantle of a feminist notion of male liberation did so only to find that few women respected this shift. Once the new man that is the man changed by feminism was represented as a wimp, as overcooked broccoli dominated by powerful females who were secretly longing for his macho counterpart, masses of men...
Shout out to partnership!
So I'm very aware that I live in a bit of a bubble with this stuff. The people who I grew up with, and the people who I now like to spend time with as an adult, are all pretty committed to anti-patriarchal values and principles, like, properly. Like, most of my female friends genuinely don't want a protector or a provider. They don't want any of the patriarchal stuff. They're not doing this halfway house thing. But like I say, I know that that's a bubble. And I know that if I just look a centimetre past the bubble, I can quite clearly see that there are a lot of women in the world who really uphold this standard of patriarchal masculinity in overt ways and in covert ways. And a lot of these women have kind of melded this with the idea of feminism in a way that I find really annoying. Like a few years ago, I came across this idea for the first time that actually it's feminist to expect the man to pay on a date because men on average earn more than women on average, and women on average spend more on makeup and their looks and stuff, and that's why it's actually good to expect men to pay on a date. And I was really disappointed by that. I really was. I was like, oh, this is going to make feminism look bad. And it just felt so, like, unradical, you know? Like, I'm to be clear, I'm not a rad femme, I'm not a radical feminist, but I do think all feminism should be radical and should be pushing against the tired gender norms of the 1950s. And these ideas that I find very problematic have been really amplified by social media, and they have become very much associated with feminism, despite the fact that many of us find it quite repugnant. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people who follow feminist values and feminist principles are actually struggling with the label of feminist. It's something I'm definitely grappling with, and I've seen that some people who I'm connected with on social media have posted videos about it. You know, basically saying like it's too hard. It's hard saying I'm a feminist and then having to go, oh, but I'm not a rad femme, and I'm not a TERF, and oh no, I'm not one of those ones that secretly actually upholds patriarchy in XYZ way. It's really difficult. There are some circles in which I would feel really confident saying I'm a feminist because I know what that word means to the people in that circle. But there are so many other circles where I know if I say I'm a feminist, it could mean 20 different things in that circle, and they're not necessarily wrong for thinking that because they're going on the internet and seeing people making these videos and getting hundreds of thousands of likes, you know? And I do think that if we're looking at like the whole of the UK, for example, that yeah, the majority of women do still cling on to patriarchal standards of masculinity. They do want this kind of half and half, you know, a modern man who's emotionally evolved, but also, you know, still having that protector and provider thing. I remember seeing a video a while ago of someone who was upset basically that every man she ever dated kind of laughed at her when she would try and invite them into softness with her. And she was kind of saying, why can't the men in my life embrace softness? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And then she said, you know, why can't he be my protector, but also be soft with me? And I really felt for her because for me, from my perspective,
Huh? Because they don't mean it. This is why the men aren't doing partnership. This is why they're not. Because partnership is really just a la carte feminist. That's what it is. It's pick and choose feminist. It's patriarchy by feminist specifications. That's what it is. We're not playing that game. Huh? You want to know why there's a passport, bros? You want to know why there's a SYSBM, Rachel Lindsay? Well, because of American women like you. Americanized, westernized women like you. The men don't have to deal with it, so they don't. Huh? So y'all can send out all the FD signifiers and the mouse and the foreign man in a foreign land and the conscious leads and all of these folks. Y'all preying on those women over there. Those women over there aren't smart enough to understand. Y'all pray because they're poor. Y'all preying over them. Y'all preying on them. Translation. You're not quote unquote strong enough. You're not man enough to do what? So you can sound like Eve. You're not man enough to tame me. Uh-oh. Huh? Mouse, we don't owe them women that. Mouse, do you appreciate the women tore up the social contract? Western women, American women, Black American women tore up the social contract. They deserve nothing now. There is no contract. The women could do whatever they want to do. Nothing wrong with that. And that means the men could do whatever they want to do. Black American men can graduate high school, get into the military, and next time you see him, he has a Vietnamese wife. Uh-oh. Black American men can graduate high school, go to university, huh? Get one of these work from home jobs and be overseas 9 times out the year. Excuse me, 9 months out the year, not 9 times, 9 months out the year. Mouse. American men, Black American men now owe Black women nothing. They don't owe Black women staying here and dealing with her cold, calculating, shrewd ass, her rude ass, her mean ass, her cold, calculating ass, her materialistic, consumerist ass. They don't owe them that. The men don't owe the women that. Pastor G says there is no contract. Dominic D says, what social contract? Exactly. Huh? Looks like we're having a little technical difficulty. Y'all give Z a second. Right? Y'all give Z a second. Let's see. Let's see something. See if I could get this to go how I need it to go. Y'all give Z a second. There we go. We're back. We're back. Had a little bit of technical difficulties, right? So shout out to Mouse. Yes, that's the same Mouse from the Grapevine. Yes, it's this same Mouse with the LA hat. Mouse, there's no more contract. The men don't owe, black men don't owe black women staying here and dealing with black women's crap. The men said they want pepperoni pizza. If America doesn't make pepperoni pizza, if America makes tacos and quesadillas, the men don't got to stay here to deal with it. Change your appetite. No. Huh? There's a reason why I continue to play these clips, because this is exactly what black men are saying to black women. Passport bros in particular, this is what they're saying.
You will put other people in this organization at risk, and that organization does not want to take that risk. So you do not have this job anymore if you decline it. With any public health decision, there has to be a consequence to you not participating in that social contract.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Huh? The women can be, Mouse, appreciate what Z is saying. The women can be whoever they want to be. Rachel, Lindsay, appreciate what Z is saying. Y'all can move and talk and act however you want. You can feel like what the men are asking for and what the men are describing is they want mothers, grow up. You want to be coddled, grow up. We're not kids. You can feel that way. And the men can say, all right, bet you don't have to move an inch for me. I'm going overseas. Huh? Black men, in particular, Rachel, Lindsay, can say, first off, you married a non-black man, so there's number one. But black men can say this, you know what? You don't have to move an inch for me. You don't have to adhere to anything I find attractive or appealing or that I want in a wife. I'm going to date outside of my race in America. If I can't find a white woman, a Latina, an Asian woman, an indigenous woman that'll get on my program in America, I earn enough, I can always go overseas. To all American women, to all Western women, you owe the men nothing. You don't have to adhere to what the men are saying. Just eat what comes with that. Shout out to you, Rachel, Lindsay. That's why so many of my friends are single. Yeah, they gonna stay their ass single too. Huh? You want to know why Mr. Z keep on talking about that Rose toy so much? You damn right, they gonna stay their ass single. Huh? Roy's toy in the nightstand, empty ice cream carton on the nightstand with a small spoon in it. She wish she was the small spoon too. Oops. Huh? Rachel, Lindsay, you don't have to adhere to none of it. Mouse, the women don't have to adhere to any of it. You could think Paul Pierce is lame. By the way, Mouse, you skimming real close to what them white racist folks be saying. Just shut up and dribble, Mouse. You got real close to saying that. Sounds a bit racist, Mouse. Huh? So for those of you just coming in, what we're speaking about, we're about to play a bunch of these clips over again, and we'll speak about it on the other side.
Let me tell y'all this is how I feel. If these niggas don't agree, fine. You passport brother niggas are sick. You niggas are sick, you niggas are weak, and I hope something bad happens to all you.
Bros is trash?
Yeah, they bad work, bro.
Trash?
No. They're going over there to marry them and bring them over here.
Mr. Z gonna be playing this over and over again because once we pause, it resets. First, when Mouse said, I hope something bad happened to y'all, Mouse actually truly believes that, but I want you to appreciate he's channeling black women here. That's why they celebrated and danced and twerk on Kevin Samuel's grave. That's why if something negative happens to a black man overseas, he gets deleted, he gets harmed, he gets, assaulted, they celebrate that. They also hope that something negative happens to you because in their mind, It has nothing to do with their behavior. You went overseas because you think she's less than. You think you're better than her. And she gonna show you by, I don't know, praying to the Orishas or some voodoo or hoodoo or whatever the hell. Huh? Whatever African goddess she believe in, whatever spirituality she believe in, they gonna get you. Because how dare you go overseas to find a wife instead of adhering and submitting yourself to the gynocracy, to the black gynocracy in America? How dare you? So the universe or whatever God she believe in, whatever spirituality she adheres to, it's going to teach you. So what Mouse is saying is exactly how black women feel. I hope something bad happened to you. Yeah. Thank you, Mouse, for channeling your inner bitter black woman. Huh? Continuing.
Let me tell y'all this is how I feel. If these niggas agree, fine. You passport brother niggas are sick. You niggas are sick, you niggas are weak, and I hope something bad happens to all you.
Bros is trash?
Yeah, they bad work, bro.
Trash?
No. They're going over there to marry them and bring them over here. And this is truly how I feel. Any that willingly plays down, you're a weak, bro. I have no respect for you. Any that literally you shoot down, you aim to play down, you a weak, bro. I have no respect for you.
It's always interesting when you look at the kind of logic that people use against black men exercising their own options and essentially using their free will to make decisions for their own lives. And it goes basically to attacking character and saying basically that you're not in a position to make any kind of decision. Enter Paul Pierce.
That's black man. I'm telling y'all, we need to follow first my 10 steps. You see, he cracking.
He's cracking.
Like, damn, out here with these.
Don't listen to Paul. There's women in the States that are cool and a vibe.
The States women, they don't have the same values as these women overseas. They value they man. They priority they man first.
Speaking about dating, they're dragging Paul Pierce right now.
Oh, he's bugging.
You don't think that men should go across seas and get their wife?
Well, come on, bro. What you talking about? Come on, bro. How do you want this conversation? Let me know how you want the clip to go. Paul Pierce is a joke, bro. And it's a sad sight to see, bro.
Why you say that, bro?
Because I feel like I'm sound old. I miss when we didn't know shit about these. Played basketball and retired, and we didn't see them until they was on analytics sport. So watching this destroy his legacy for the last 9 years because he just wants to sound dumb, it's crazy, bro. He got whatever and then came back to play and got lit. Like, that was fire to me.
Yeah.
It would have been cool if that's where it ended. But now you watch this just making a joke of himself, and it's dumb. And so when he said that, it just, first of all, it's lazy. He's not the first that said it. And if we're talking about the actual point, bro, you're a weak, bro. You really a weak. Because let's talk about it. The passport bros, that you prey on dumb, ill-equipped women to make your wife, bro, you a weak.
Say this, right? Let me.
And this come from they old women.
This is a comedian that goes by the name of Mouse Jones, I do believe, ironically wearing a shirt saying knowledge is power. He's repeating a trope that many black men who have chosen SYSBM or passport bros have heard before, that essentially you're weak. You're not a real man because you're choosing the quote-unquote easy way out. And if you were a real black man, you would not choose this quote-unquote easy way out. You would man up and date, well...
He lied. He's a liar.
He lied. He's a liar. He lied. He's a liar.
And that was something that I kind of just grasped, and emotionally, I'm just like, bet you do your thing, but you're asking me for things that is within my position, and for my right, I don't have to give it to you because it's in my position. But when it came to the point that I saw that he chose to make it more about the police and things of the nature, that showed that he made a choice. So I just want to be more professional and just come professionally and let you know, like, hey, relationship thing, have no problem, and working with you guys. So I'm not hiring. Right. Mm-hmm.
Was there any type of physical?
No, I didn't touch him. He didn't touch me. I will be honest.
God bless the passport thing. I feel you on getting an American woman, especially.
No, it's not that. It don't have to be American. I don't want that to be the thing. You're praying. You're going. Oh, you didn't. Hold on. You didn't. It's not because I just want to address that part.
Let's cook.
It's not like he's saying I'm gonna go to Italy. I'm gonna go to France. I'm gonna go to one of these established countries. You're going to a third world country to find a woman that can't tell you what's 2 + 2. And you're gonna bring her back here and treat her like for the rest of your life because it's your concubine. You want to treat her like a concubine because you never had no power nowhere else. So now you're gonna exert your power over this woman.
I have to admit that as an American, there are times where I listen to the kind of discourse that's being had, frankly, in Black America about what's happening in education abroad, and I'm a bit embarrassed because even in the country with the wealthiest economy, well, second wealthiest now, compared to other countries, we should be dominating in math, science, and English, but we're not. And you're comparing this against countries with much less money, much less up-to-date advanced educational methods and materials, and they are at least on par, if not better. And to say something like these young ladies don't have any education is quite frankly ignorant.
No, I haven't hit him with anything, not at all. He had headphones that were mine, and I just grabbed those headphones, but not physically. If he would like to ask me, you can ask him, but I don't want anything.
I just want to get your side.
Okay, absolutely. You can ask him whatever you need to ask him. But yeah, you're a coward.
You're a coward.
Look at her face. Look at her face. Look at her face. Okay, I'm gonna end up having to play that all over again. So you couldn't really see her face clearly, side view, right? I want y'all to appreciate the face that Shakari Richardson gave, at least at that time, her boyfriend. She gave him the same face that your mom give you when she's like, oh, when we get home, that's your ass. We all know it. When she looked over his direction and said, you're a coward, she gave him the, oh, when we get home, that's your ass face. Somebody in the comments tell me I'm lying. All you sneak listeners, all you ghost listeners, tell me I'm lying. And her boyfriend's not supposed to be a passport bro? He's not supposed to be SYSBM. Yeah. Huh? He's supposed to be in this gynocratic group of folks where the women get to talk to you like that in front of the police officers. White police officers. No? Give you the, when we get home, that's your ass face. What was that you were saying again, Rachel Lindsay, about mothering? Uh-oh. Do y'all really got an issue with mothering? You just got an issue with certain women mothering a certain way. It's supposed to be heavy-handed on black men, right? Your wife and your girlfriend are supposed to be one of those heavy-handed, tough love women if she's going to do the mothering. Because Shakari Richardson looked at her boyfriend with that, when we get home, that's your ass face. She did it on camera, Miss Lindsay. You know, like a mother would do, like a black mother would do. You have an issue with men wanting a particular type of formation in their relationship, and the men are not going to budge from that. Not the masses anyway. And if your homegirls and your girlfriends are single as hell because of it, so be it. And if they think that's just a black thing, have fun outside the black community. If you think it's a black man thing, yeah. Huh? Yikes. So once again, shout out to Passport OG. Right before I play that, shout out to Passport OG. Fair use, fair use. Fair use, fair use. Yes, y'all are right. It is pretty much a habit now. That's why Mr. Z puts the fair use. You never know who's going to strike. I'm not saying Passport OG going to strike, but you never know. And does it really save you? Does it mitigate for a little bit? Yes. So we're going to play these clips and we'll get back to our commentary on the other end.
Let me tell y'all this is how I feel. If these niggas agree, fine. You passport brother niggas are sick. You niggas are sick, you niggas are weak, and I hope something bad happens to all you.
Bros is trash?
Yeah, they bad work, bro.
Trash?
No. They're going over there to marry them and bring them over here. And this is truly how I feel. Any that willingly plays down, you're a weak, bro. I have no respect for you. Any that literally you shoot down, you aim to play down, you're a weak, bro. I have no respect for you.
It's always interesting when you look at the kind of logic that people use against black men exercising their own options and essentially using their free will to make decisions for their own lives. And it goes basically to attacking character and saying basically that you're not in a position to make any kind of decision. Enter Paul Pierce.
What's black man? I'm telling y'all, we need to follow him first my 10 steps. You see, he cracking.
He's cracking.
Like, man, I'm out here with these.
Don't listen to Paul. There's women in the States that are cool and a vibe.
The States women, they don't have the same values as these women overseas. They value they man. They priority they man first.
Speaking about dating, you know, they're dragging Paul Pierce right now.
Oh, he's bugging.
You don't think that men should go across seas and get their wife?
Well, come on, bro. What you talking about? Come on, bro. How do you want this conversation? Let me know how you want the clip to go. Paul Pierce is a joke, bro. And it's a sad sight to see, bro.
Why you say that, bro?
Because I feel like I'm sound old. I miss when we didn't know about these. Played basketball and retired, and we didn't see them until they was on an analytics sport. So watching this destroy his legacy for the last 9 years because he just wants to sound dumb, it's crazy, bro. He got whatever and then came back to play and got lit. Like, that was fire to me.
Yeah.
It would have been cool if that's where it ended. But now you watch this just making a joke of himself, and it's dumb. And so when he said that, it just, first of all, it's lazy. He's not the first one that said it. And if we're talking about the actual point, bro, you're a weak. bro. You really a weak because let's talk about it. The passport bros, the that you prey on dumb, ill-equipped women to make you your wife, bro. You a weak.
Say this right. Let me.
And this come from Nick, they old women.
This is a comedian that goes by the name of Mouse Jones, I do believe, ironically wearing a shirt saying knowledge is power. He's repeating a trope that many black men who have chosen SYSBM or passport bros have heard before, that essentially you're weak. You're not a real man because you're choosing the quote unquote easy way out. And if you were a real black man, you would not choose this quote unquote easy way out. You would man up and date, well,
he lied. He's a liar.
He lied. He's a liar. He lied. He's a liar.
And that was something that I kind of just grasped, and emotionally, I'm just like, bet you do your thing, but you're asking me for things that is within my position, and for my right, I don't have to give it to you because it's in my position. But when it came to the point that I saw that he chose to make it more about the police and things of the nature, that shows that he made a choice. So I just want to be more professional and just come professionally and let you guys know, like, hey, relationship thing, have no problem, and walking with you guys. Not hiding. Right. Mm-hmm.
Was there any type of physical?
No, I didn't touch him. He didn't touch me. I will be honest.
I will be honest.
God bless the passport thing. I feel you on getting an American woman, especially.
It's not that, she don't have to be American. I don't want that to be the thing. You're praying. You're going. Oh, you didn't. I'm gonna show you
let's
It's not because I just want to address that part.
Let's cook.
It's not like he's saying I'm gonna go to Italy. I'm gonna go to France. I'm gonna go to one of these established countries. You're going to a third world country to find a woman that can't tell you what's 2 + 2. And you're gonna bring her back here and treat her like for the rest of your life because it's your concubine. You want to treat her like a concubine because you never had no power nowhere else. So now you're gonna exert your power over this woman.
I have to admit that as an American, there are times where I listen to the kind of discourse that's being had, frankly, in Black America about what's happening in education abroad, and I'm a bit embarrassed because even in the country with the wealthiest economy, well, second wealthiest now, compared to other countries, we should be dominating in math, science, and English, but we're not. And you're comparing this against countries with much less money, much less up-to-date advanced educational methods and materials, and they are at least on par, if not better. And to say something like these young ladies don't have any education is quite frankly ignorant.
No, I haven't hit him with anything, not at all. He had headphones that were mine, and I just grabbed them headphones, but not physically. If you would like to ask me, you can ask him, but I don't want anything.
I just want to get your side.
Okay, absolutely. You can ask him whatever you need to ask him. But yeah, you're a coward.
You're a coward. You're a coward. Is it Shakari?
Shakari.
Shakari.
Thank you so much, Sherry.
I would agree with everything. The reason I don't want that narrative to flourish, because in the 90s, when you were young, and SO knows, you weren't alive yet, Ghost, the #1 movie was How Stella Got Her Groove Back. Ghost was alive, they said. And it's the same. Oh, I can't do what I need.
Yo, let him talk. Let him talk.
Yeah. Let him cook.
You're on the bamboo raft and they're doing these limestone like mud massages all over your body and whatnot. And it turns out there are some women who are purposely going to Jamaica and having these experiences.
Now, my thing is, right? Oh, I can't. The men ain't treating me right in America. She went to Jamaica,
Jamaica, a third world country?
Yes. But, and then all these girls that go to Jamaica, how about them girls that was going viral because they put in the trash bag?
Bro,
it's the same.
But the Jamaicans that rub the shit on the girl.
Yeah, Mouse, there's no way you're gonna justify high-earning women going to Jamaica. Ain't no different than a man going to a third world country and getting a chick that don't speak no English. That's the same equivalency of debauchery.
The number of women doing that is way less than the that are going over to poor, impoverished countries, snatching a woman away and destroying the rest of her life.
It's fascinating to me that in 2025, these kinds of conversations are live on the interweb for people to partake of because, well, first, this is a group of black men, or at least one black man, that's essentially criminalizing the behavior of other black men. But the other reason, of course, is that there's this idealistic crucible that black men are in where if you don't find a way to stay where you are and make it happen in a place where you have 4% of the world's population, that's a you issue. But on the other end, we have movies made about young ladies going overseas and getting their groove back. And speak of ruining someone's life.
What's your phone number for you?
And like I said, I don't have a problem cooperating because, like I said, it was from relationship stuff. So that's why I came up.
Do you get your boarding pass by chance? Just so I can just take a photo of that.
And the cynical optimist says, how do you grab headphones but not physically? I literally thought the same thing when I first heard it. I literally thought the same. Let's actually spend a couple minutes on that. Shakari, you saw her trying. And like, this has been a thing for Z. I guess this is with a bit of like a teeny bit of like, I don't know, elitism, or Mr. Z's not elite. I stumble on words too. Y'all see Mr. Z stumble and fumble on words, but it bothers Z when I watch black folks in front of non-black folks, and they turn on, the respectability. Okay, fine, we understand y'all in an intense situation, and you see them trying. Like, you could see her trying. You see you think she speaks like that normally? You could see she turned on the interview voice right? Your mom, when her boss calls the phone, right? You can hear her with the interview voice. And she says, you could tell she's trying too hard. It shouldn't be this difficult. You are literally an Olympian. You are literally an Olympian. You've been around the white folks. This is the voice you use? This is the way you speak? Huh? We've all seen it. We've all worked jobs. And you can see the women. You can see them. Especially for the Latina and the black women. You can see them. They trying. They put on their interview voice. They're using words that don't go together. Huh? Right? And once again, cynical optimist says, how do you grab headphones but not physically? Exactly. She was trying. She tried too hard. She was trying too hard. Huh? Yikes. So, y'all seen Mouse. Y'all heard what Mouse had to say. And what Mouse doesn't appreciate is,
the amount of anger you have. It's not my fault. It's not the men's fault. It's not the market's fault. It's not my fault why you're so angry.
Huh? Yikes. And somebody put something here earlier. Oh, it was Lion. Lion said something about the women in Texas somewhere, or somewhere where there was another speed dating event and only 10 men showed up. Send it to my email line. We'll cover it. Exactly. And cynical optimist says channeling that inner passive aggressive Karen energy. Yeah. And doing a bad job at it. Now, could she have gotten him hemmed up by the authorities if there wasn't a camera? You better believe it. You better believe it. And didn't he still defend her? Just like a black man. Didn't he still defend her? She damn near almost sent you to jail for something you did not do, that she was the aggressor. In front of everyone and on camera. If it wasn't for the camera and the witnesses, you would have been the one in handcuffs. Huh? And Jay Moore says, that Mouse dude looks like a failed 90s R&B singer. Hysterical. Yeah, on the thumbnail, yeah. Right? Because when I was looking through the images on Google, and I'm like, they don't really have any pictures of Mouse. And Mouse was like a constant on the Grapevine. But I was looking for a picture with him with the panel, and I'm pretty sure if I would have looked long enough, I could have found it. But yeah, but they scrubbed a bunch of the Grapevine pictures and all that other stuff. They're gone. Right? So yeah. And thank you for that super chat. Thank you for that super chat. So also tying what Mouse said to what Rachel Lindsay has said. Here you guys go.
Now, I don't know. When I watch this clip, and the reason I say I pray this type of man doesn't find me for two reasons. One, because I do want somebody who looks at me more than just a mom. And I feel like that is an issue with a lot of women as they're dating. These men, there are a lot of men, let me try not to generalize. There are a lot of men who want you to step into that motherly role. They want you to take care of them just as their mother did. They want you to coddle them in those ways rather than looking at you as somebody who you're building this partnership of life with. And it's hard out there. And that's why a lot of women, I think, these days are finding it not just hard to date, but why they choose to be single, because that is not who they want to be or spend the rest of their life with that type of person.
The amount of anger you have, it's not my fault. It's not the men's fault. It's not the market's fault. It's not my fault why you're so angry.
Doesn't serve at all to continue to bring it up.
But my biggest problem is the traditional stuff. Like, these men gotta stop looking for a mom and look for somebody who is, if if you want them to be like your mom in the sense of morals and values and family oriented and things like that, I understand it. But looking for somebody to literally, I'm an adult now, I've grown out, I moved out of the house, I need somebody to fulfill the mom role for me now that I'm not living with my mom. I don't like that. I don't like how he talked about what he wanted from Halle. Halle was successful, she was talented, she loved you. You admit that. She was loyal to you, and that wasn't enough for you. You wanted her, despite her making a name for herself, which I would assume, you know, you were attracted to those things, her, you know, outside of her beauty, her talent and all those things. That wasn't enough for you. You wanted this. And I just hate when I see that, because I see that type of rhetoric a lot from when, not necessarily from me in dating, but with my friends that are dating. And I hate that.
Well, the amount of anger you have, it's not my fault. It's not the men's fault. It's not the market's fault. It's not my fault why you're so angry.
And once again, shout out to Destro. Shout out to Destro. So when Rachel Lindsay says she sees that with the men her friends are dating, right? They don't have to get on that man's program. They could be out there in the dating scene for eternity or get comfortable being single. You don't dictate nothing over here. Say it again, Z. You don't dictate anything over here. You see what Z did there? Huh? We're not changing our appetite, period. And if that means that your homegirls, whether they're white or black or Asian or Latina, and they just single as hell, so be it. And I don't like that. And Halle Berry had this career. And I love it. She shouldn't have to stoop down to play this type of role as his wife. She shouldn't have to cook and clean as his wife. She's Halle Berry. Maybe those loser bum women would have to do that. Not Halle Berry. She's Halle Berry. There's no requirement for cooking and cleaning. Why don't you men grow up and stop looking to be coddled by your wife? Huh? You gotta love it. And Jay Moore, once again, thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Huh? Yikes. The women and these men like Mouse really think that there will get to a time where the men will change their appetite. The masses of men will change their appetite. And we'll see about that. The men said pepperoni pizza. The world is saying everything but pepperoni pizza. We got cheese pizza. No, I want pepperoni. We got sausage. Bleh. Nope, I want pepperoni. We got tacos. Nope, I want pepperoni. Well, we have spaghetti. Nope, I want pepperoni. We have burgers. I want pepperoni. We have fries. I want pepperoni. Hot dogs. Bleh. I want pepperoni. Huh? The men said pepperoni pizza, Rachel Lindsay. The men said pepperoni pizza, Mouse. Y'all could put women on this moral pedestal all you want. I keep saying this. What single men think matters. The whole world, the technocrats, the women, the wealthy folks, everybody's trying to break them in. The only thing that matters is what single men think. God damn, Z, you said that out loud. The only thing that matters. Why? Because the men subsidize the women. That's why. If you want those men to turn into sponsors, you got to make it worth their while. And it's not. If you want them to invest in your crap ass daughters, you got to give them a reason. And there is no reason. Dear America, dear the West, we know you need your daughter sponsored. We know the average man spends $5,000 to $12,000 more per year when in relationship. We know your daughters need to be sponsored. We know because you got a handful of Rachel Lindsays, a handful of Bowsers, huh? A handful of women with this type of money, particularly Latina and Black women. And so everybody lives vicariously through them, or everyone tries to use them as example to say, oh, the men need to level up. Nope. Black and Latina women who never marry, say it again, Z, who never marry, one more again, Z, Dr. Umar Johnson style, who never marry are the least wealthy in the US. Yeah. Huh? America raised these cold, calculating, materialistic, consumerist brats in their daughters. Now these women are in their 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s, maybe even 60s. And America needs these women sponsored. Shout out to Black Uru. Somebody gonna have to pay for these hoes. The masses of them. The masses of them can't afford their own life. And yet they don't want to be a wife that's on a man's program, a Black man's program. Rachel Lindsay, your homegirls, your girlfriends, they gonna stay their ass single. Especially if they out there in Hollywood, they gonna stay their ass single. If you talking about LA, I'm almost certain you're speaking about women that are somewhat on the same level as you financially. They gonna stay their ass single. Because the men on that level, that's why you have the B Simones. That's why you have the Mandy B's. That's why you have these different type of women. Y'all go stay y'all ass single. You damn right. The real talk with Yannies and whatnot. Oh yeah, you earning $150 a year, $200,000 a year, 250, 300. Oh, you gonna stay your ass single. Because the men that earn that, just the options. Oh my God. God forbid you got a bit of height on you. God forbid you have some looks. You're a little bit charismatic. Ladies, you damn right you gonna stay your ass single. Because you want men like that to do quote unquote partnership with you? Absolutely not. Either you're on his program or you're not. And if you're not on his program, SYSBM if he's a Black man, Passport Bros if he's anyone. White, Black, Latino, Asian, otherwise. Ladies, you don't have to get on his program. Just be single, paying for peen, probably young peen. You better have that PlayStation 5 money ready. That PlayStation 5 and that Xbox Live. Ooh, goddamn, Z. Rhyme it. Huh? Have that PlayStation 5 money and that Xbox Live money ready. Because you're going to be paying for young peen. Or at least younger than you peen. So, once again, the title, y'all must have forgot. For those of you who weren't around or y'all weren't paying attention back in those days, I want to say 2012, 2013, 14, 15, 16 years when Grapevine was up. And for those of you that were paying attention and y'all were watching Grapevine, but y'all forgot, that's the same mouse. That is the same mouse. Mouse Jones, that's the same one from the Grapevine. Huh? And he's made his rounds. I remember he was on was a Madame Noir with on that panel discussion with Melissa Ford and them. When that was last year sometime, maybe. Yeah, Mouse is making his rounds. He's been making his rounds. Huh? So appreciate some of the reason why you're meeting these delusional ass women is because they're running into the Mouse of the world. And by the way, Mouse did offer a bit of pushback on the Grapevine every once in a while. He wasn't Donovan. Every once in a while, he'll offer a bit of pushback. Just a smidge. But to be honest with you, he seemed overwhelmed. When he was on the Grapevine, he seemed like he just got outsmarted by the ladies almost every time. Huh? So that's the same Mouse that's hoping that something bad happens to the Passport Bros. Why? Because the Passport Bros won't stay here with your asshole sisters and daughters? Huh? The Passport Bros are supposed to stay here, and that's what Mouse was saying. The Passport Bros are supposed to stay in America and deal with the shrewd, rude, cold, calculating, conniving, gonna divorce you within 5 years black women. Huh? Yikes. So this is going to continue, everyone. These people see this as an existential crisis also. Yeah, the women are pretending like they have all this pride and ego and they straight and they don't care and they'll just be single. They'll just resign themselves to being single. And there's a cause for that. Huh? J. Mar says, was that a panel of immigrants? No, Grapevine did have immigrants, obviously Ashley Akuna, I think Nigerian descent, Uchechi, Nigerian, but Seren was ADOS. Donovan was Jamaican descent. Mouse, I think, is ADOS. Doug had a Jewish father, black American mother. I think he's ADOS. Well, mixed ADOS, white, black. Who else was there constant? Aisha was ADOS. Who else? What was the name of that sister? She had like she had her own channel too. She might have been ADOS. Yeah. So it was a mixture. It was literally the diaspora up there. There was another brother that was half. I think his dad was Haitian, and no. His dad was ADOS and his mom was Haitian. Yeah, his dad was ADOS and his mom was Haitian. I can't remember what that brother name was. Huh? So yeah, the literally it was the whole diaspora that was right. Bobo who joined the panel a bit later. I think she was there for the last 2 or 3 seasons. She was South African. There were a number of folks, right? They had their like mainstays, and then they had their people that you saw every once in a blue. And then they had a couple of people that were there just 1 time or 2 times. But yeah, it was the whole. They had a couple of sisters from that were Congolese. I want to say, yeah, maybe Kenyan. I want to say, yeah, it was the diaspora, right? And we're back. Y'all already know Reckless Streams. We're back. We're back, right? And Kevin Miller says, "Rest in peace, Aisha." Yeah. I remember that. Yeah. And if you recall, I'm not gonna mention it here. If you don't know, you don't know. When she first passed, the stupid lie that went out about the like what transpired about her passing, and somebody put out some heinous thing that happened to her, and apparently that's not what happened and whatnot. So yeah, right. Yep. So yeah, y'all. So yeah, Grapevine was the smorgasbord. It was everyone. It was everyone. But I wanted to play these clips for y'all today. I wanted to review this and speak about this. One, because that's really what it is. Mouse engaged in the moral high grounding of the women's perspectives, of Black women's perspectives and views. He told you it's different when they engage in it. Of course he did, right? He minimized the whole how Stella got her groove back thing. Of course he did. He told you that he hopes something bad happens to the Passport Bros, channeling his inner bitter Black women. Of course he did, right? Very important. And he expressed to you that the issue is that you're going overseas essentially to prey on these poor, dumb women from overseas. He did say wife, though. He didn't make it seem like it was only just triple X tourism. Although he does mention triple X tourism, but he did say wife also. Mouse, what you have to appreciate is American men, Black American men don't owe American women, Black American women, dealing with their rude, mean, cold, calculated, conniving, materialistic, consumerist asses. I also brought this up today and reviewed these clips because of Rachel Lindsay. I'm tying these together to say their issue with you is that they have made themselves, this society has made them, the technocrats have made them these little Frankenstein weirdos, and it's not fair to them that you won't adhere to whatever the hell this is. What the hell is even that? Mr. Z need that clip. What the hell is even that? As the white dude said, the white father said to the light-skinned brother with the wig and the beard. What the hell is even that? That is, oh, you know what, Mr. Z, man, I should have had that clip for this. That is your modern man, your modern Black man right now concerning dating, mating, marriage, and relationships in America. When we're looking at these Frankenstein ass white women, Latina women, Asian women, but of course, Black women, Black men sound like the white father off of that clip. What the hell is even that? Huh? The dynamics and this weirdo stuff, this quote unquote partnership, which is just a la carte feminist, a la carte patriarchy by feminist specifications. Black men are like, what the hell is even that? You damn right. Kevin Miller says, the South African chick was the worst. Never anything good to say about Black men. So Ren had to check her ass. Bobo was fresh off the boat from South Africa, still talking crap. Yet you just got here yesterday. What was it? Was it Stephen Clark? That was the brother from the Bay Area, right? They covered that, especially with what his, I want to say she was Asian, with the Asian baby mama and him said on social media or whatever, maybe a few years before he was deleted by the police officers, and they used that to have a conversation on the Grapevine, but of course they did. And how Black men are so anti-Black, then they get deleted by the police officers, and what are we supposed to do about that? Huh? The same thing they tried to pull with the Terry Nichols deletion. And so Bobo spewed all her anti-Black man crap and like F them, F Black men. And Seren had to, whoa. Not saying Seren was all that. Let's be very clear. Seren said some very problematic stuff on her own channel and on Grapevine. But if there's anyone that said anything sensible every once in a blue out of the women, it was Seren, Aisha, and it was a couple of people that you only saw them maybe once or twice. But Seren slowed Bobo up and said, hey, it's just a black figure. The cops don't care about, the cops are not looking to see what anti-black thing did this person say. Oh yeah, now we justified to go delete them. That's not how life works. These weirdos swear they, I don't know what weird karma thing they think is going on. That's what you get, karma. That's the same thing they were on with the African brother Toby when the white girl deleted him, when his white quote unquote girlfriend deleted him. Does Mr. Z caution black men with saying the anti-black women stuff, especially if you got a non-black spouse? Especially anti-black women stuff. Don't be tap dancing in front of your white spouse or your non-black spouse. It's not a good look. Might want to slow up on the anti-blackness on social media. Not a good look. But is that the reason why the police deleted Stephen Clark? No, weirdos. You're trying to tell me they're looking at his social media like, oh yeah, we could delete this one. The black community won't care. Yeah, that's it. So Seren had to slow up Bobo with that weirdo talk. And she did it smooth too. When Bobo was done, Seren spoke. And you know when someone's directing it to, and they're saying things countering everything you said, but they never say you. Huh? They never use your name. They never say your name. Seren responded and pretty much said, look, all they care about is the black silhouette, which that one I disagree with, but fine. And also stressing this, the police officers, these white racist cops, they're not going after you because you're saying whatever you think is anti-black or no. You're black. You're definitely a black man. That's probable cause enough. Huh? So yeah, Bobo's yawn. Just came off the boat from South Africa yesterday talking crazy to black men, to black American men of all people too. Huh? And I'm Waffle says, those South African females, just like Nigerian females, got a lot of unpacked grievances with the men in their own country and take that off on American black men. Shaking my head. Yeah, it's weird, bro. It's weird. It's a bunch of these weirdos. And Leon sent me something. Leon, you might have to send it again. Because it's probably lost somewhere in my emails. Leon said, and I want to say I saw it before, and then Leon sent it to me. So I saw it again, where was that one of the was that what's his name, the tech guy? Because I might be mistaking him for one of those one of those that be with Curtis Yarvin and them. I want to say that's the same guy, but I don't remember the bald head white dude. But yeah, white dude straight up saying, yeah, we essentially bring in the Nigerians, we bring in the Africans to like kind of make up for black Americans. He straight up said it. Huh? So yeah, there's that. And like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And Uranus says, and thank you for the super chat. Z, why do you keep finding these slack-jawed simps like Mouse to push these narratives? Look, Mouse is old school, man. Mouse go back to the early 2010s, man. That's old school. Mouse used to be on the Grapevine years ago, a decade plus ago. Huh? And he's made his rounds kind of in these more minor roles all through like black Hollywood-ish. Black social media space or black, yeah, the influencer space, yeah, Mouse is all over. Huh? I've been knowing about Mouse for way over a decade at this point now. I want to say I've been knowing about Mouse since what, 2012, 2011 maybe? Maybe 2010? but you definitely like by 2012-ish, right? So yeah, 2012, 2013. It's really difficult to pin this down because there's no more Grapevine, right? And he used to be kind of a mainstay on the Grapevine, right? So it was a couple of them as men on the Grapevine. It was Doug, it was Mouse, it was Donovan. There's a couple of other brothers. Carl Haitian. Who else? Carl would tap dance too much for me as a fellow Haitian. Yeah, I get it, the Haitian conservative thing. Yeah, yawn. But yeah, Carl used to tap dance a little too much for me. Who else? I'm missing like one or two other brothers. But yeah, right. So that pretty much I came across Mouse from years ago, right? That's how y'all know about Mouse because I know about Mouse. For those of you that didn't know about him before, and so yes, this is the same Mouse from the Grapevine. And every once in a while, yes, he would sound somewhat like this on the Grapevine, but every once in a while, he would try to push back on the women, or he would play. You know who he would play? He would play early Joe Rogan. That was somewhat of his role. You know, the person. You know how when Joe Rogan's listening to someone speak, and he looks like he's giving you the person the look like, okay, I'm listening. I'm trying to listen and kind of gather, and he's like pondering. Not in a pretentious way, not like he doesn't believe you or anything. Like he's just taking everything in, right? And then he'll regurgitate something back to you, or he'll ask you a question, and it somewhat seems like he's a bit confused, whether he is confused or not. He sounds like he's confused. That's the role. And somebody correct Z if I'm lying. All of the folks that used to watch the Grapevine, that's how Mouse came off, right? Anyone that remembers the Grapevine, someone, correct Z. But that's how Mouse came off, and the women just used to like pretty much run circles around Mouse. Like I think they liked him. I mean, as a person, but yeah, they used to run circles around Mouse. Huh? Saint Sue says, "Did you already say Donovan's Yitch ass?" Yeah, I mentioned Donovan already. Look, Donovan, LGBTQ, Jamaican brother. Bro, Donovan was always gonna sound the way he does. He was always gonna sound like that. Growing up in New York, LGBTQ Jamaican cat, he was always gonna sound like that. He did have a moment though, one time when he was hanging around with his cousins. I think he said he went to the barbershop with them or something like that. Or he started hanging with his cousins, more male cousins, and he realized, oh, wait a minute, all of these negative stereotypes I believed about straight black men, it ain't really that. Like I'm hanging with them and they're asking each other, so hey man, you've been with this girl for a while, when you plan on getting married with her and whatever. Imagine this, everyone. Let's pause with that. Huh, funny. Let's pause with that. You're a black man, but your sexual orientation is different than the vast majority of us. But you so associate yourself with black women that the negative stereotypes that black women spew about straight black men, because they can't get them niggas to bow, because they can't get them niggas to break themselves for them. See, you ain't saying Negroes. I know. You spew those same words, that rhetoric, those talking points, to the point where you believe it so much that it took you hanging around your straight male family members to be like, oh, I guess straight black men aren't that bad. Huh? And we get this a lot as straight black men. Black women, black LGBTQ folks, namely black LGBTQ men, with their weirdo, black men are the white straight black men, better yet, straight black men are the white supremacists of the black community. Straight black men are the weakest link. For all of you that are too young, between like 2013-ish to about pretty much almost COVID. Pretty much COVID. It was just article after article, segment after segment. Black men are the weakest link. Black men are the white supremacists of the black community. And that's why we mock them. What year was that? 2018, 2019? With the Roots articles. The Roots articles thing that was going on Twitter was a bunch of black folks, including some black women, mocking that whole think piece space, that whole editor space, commentator space, whether it was YouTube, whether it was the Grapevine, whether it was the Roots articles, whether it was what was the other one? Black something, whatever the hell, on Instagram. All of them always had some type of article, some type of segment of how black men ain't ish. And so it kind of exploded with the Roots articles when we were mocking them on Twitter. We're like, and that's why y'all hear me Z say sometimes, a comment here, Jupiter, it's black men's fault. Huh? Solar ray coming from the sun got a little too close to Earth and fried a couple of satellites. It's black men's fault. Huh? Tsunami hits India, it's black men's fault. Huh? So the grapevine existed during that time. Huh? That's the grapevine's heyday when all of this was happening. Huh? And a lot of the folks you hear, these kind of intellectuals, pseudo-intellectuals with their think pieces and their feel pieces on YouTube, many of them were inspired by the grapevine. Right? I could tell by the way they frame their argument. These are, I'm saying ideologically, these are the grapevine's younger siblings. Huh? Indigo says field pieces. Yes, these field pieces. Huh? Exactly. Lion says they'd blame us for the common cold if they could. Right? And so that was the heyday of the grapevine, and when the grapevine existed, that's the space that Mouse comes from. Tying that all back in, that's the space that Mouse comes from. I said Mouse, sorry. Mouse comes from. Huh? Mouse comes from the grapevine. He comes from spaces where black women speak somewhat like Rachel Lindsay. Mouse comes from the space where it was nothing but a bunch of Bowsers and him and one or two other brothers on a panel. One of the brothers being Donovan. Huh? Why do black celebrity men continue to marry out? Why do rich black men marry out? And you would have Mouse up there, and you would have maybe Doug up there, Donovan up there, and then a slew of black women. Huh? And out of maybe like five or so black women, maybe 6 black women, all of them sound like Bowser except for like maybe one. Maybe one. Maybe Serin's the only one, or maybe if Aisha's there. If you're lucky, you get 2, Aisha and Serin. God forbid Uchechi was up there. I don't think there's anybody on the planet that disliked black men at that time more than Uchechi. Huh? God forbid Uchechi was up there. Y'all want to know where certain ADOS men have this visceral dislike for Nigerian women, look at Uchechi. Oh my God, Uche! Oh my God! You didn't hear someone intellectualize their misandry worse than Uchechi. Jesus Christ! That's the space that Mouse comes from. Saint Cyr says Uchechi was insufferable. Huh? Yeah. If you had, it's definitely shout out to Cameron. You had to be there. Or Cam says actually you weren't there, right? It's difficult to say to anyone who didn't watch the Grapevine. Y'all don't appreciate it. Just imagine Bowser on a panel and Bowser ain't giving up an inch. Like if you think it's all Jermaine's fault, like she was the embodiment of it's always Jermaine's fault. And she would intellectualize it in any kind of way. And I think she went to one of those near Ivies too. Like it was either Dartmouth or like Rutgers. Did she go to? It might have been Rutgers, right? So one of those almost Ivies. Yeah, something like that. So if you want to know why you have a number of brothers who look at Nigerian women, Nigerian feminists of all people, the worst thing ever. Goddamn plague. No offense to my Nigerian brothers, but your sisterin, oh my God. Your feminist sisterin, Jesus. I don't know if there's a worse thing in the Black American community right now than a goddamn Nigerian feminist. Nigerian descent feminist? Whether she was born over there and then came over here for college and university, or whether she was born and raised here and then went to college and university here. Oh my God. Huh? A Nigerian American feminist gotta be the worst thing that ever happened to Black America. Huh? Gotta be one of the worst things. And Uchechi was the embodiment of that. Just a more articulate version of that. It's always Jermaine's fault. Yeah. And J. Mar says she said that it was a white man that told her she was beautiful. Yeah, she said the first person to ever tell her she was beautiful was a white man. Huh? I didn't find her attractive whatsoever. But with that, where was the wedding ring? Where's the white man? Anytime I ever hear one of these, whether it's Haitian, whether it's Nigerian, whether it's Jamaican, huh? Anywhere from the Black diaspora, darker than a brown paper bag, heavy set, Black women say it was a white man was the first one. Was the first person to tell me I was pretty, the first person that liked my hair, the first person was a white man. Where's the wedding ring then? Huh? Better yet, where's the marriage band? Where is it? Shut the hell up then. If you don't got the wedding ring from the white man, I don't want to hear about it. No white man you ever dated. And when I say white, I mean that's a catch-all for all non-Black. Don't tell me nothing about how great. And same thing with what's her face, Tiffany Haddish right now. I'm gonna cover that in a minute. Tiffany Haddish sneak dissing right now too. I saw her break up. I heard her voice cracking. She started tearing up. Yeah, them dudes in Hollywood ain't messing with you. You're broken, lady. Same thing Tiffany Haddish pulled. And I don't have that type of experience. See, when I'm with a Black man, and what she was trying to say, and when she's with a Black man, it's like he's trying to break her. And she don't have that type of experience where she date these white dudes and these Latinos. Ma'am, where's the wedding ring? You've been famous in Hollywood for a minute. Huh? Like there's pre-girl strip Tiffany Haddish and there's post-girl strip Tiffany Haddish. Post Girl Trip, Tiffany Haddish been famous. What year did Girl Trip come out? Was it damn near a decade ago? Lady, you've been famous for a minute. Where's the wedding ring from the white man then, from Hollywood? Then shut the hell up. When I date these non-black men, they don't try to. Same thing with Church you tried to pull. The first person to call me beautiful to my white man. Huh? Yikes. I'm reading through you guys' comments right now. And Vince says, I said Grape. Chat GPT said that Grapevine is still available on the internet, just not on YouTube. Okay. All right. Man. Starman says Negroes would go upside they ish back home talking all that ish. Yeah, well Uchechi said she G checked, she got off on that. Because when she was recounting that story, she checked one of her uncles and they had to pull him away from her or her away from him and whatever the hell. Look, man, these broken ass, let's be clear. Z say it. Whether it's Bowser, whether it's Uchechi, whether you could tell their issue is that they felt like the ugly little girls since they were little girls. And they get off. They jizz their panties stepping on Negroes because it's get back time. If they got the white spouse, that's what it's about. It's get back time. If they have the degree from a prestigious university, that's what it's about. It's get back time. If they have a mic and they're somewhat famous, or they're in these YouTube streets, these social media streets, they got some buzz, they got subscribers, they making, they doing numbers on social media. It's get back time. Even if you never said anything negative to her in high school, you knew her or you were one of her classmates. If she found you attractive, but you were walking down the hall with the light-skinned cute chick, it's get back time now. And that's all of them. All those women that sound like them. All those women that sound like that. Every single one of them, that's what it's about. That's what informs them. It's get back time. Y'all wasn't choosing up on me in middle school. Y'all weren't choosing up on me in high school. Y'all didn't choose up on me in college and university. I worked white collar. I was in this office building, or I was in this firm. Y'all didn't really choose up on me like that. And when they say that, it's brothers here and there that find them attractive or that would date them. No, it's the guy they want. The guys that they find attractive weren't checking for them. Oh, it's get back time now. Now I got a little prestige, or now I got a little buzz. Now I'm making a little bit of money. Now I got this white man that finds me attractive or appealing enough. Oh, it's get back time now. Right? And that's all it's about. And Trell says the class reunion flex. And that's all it's about. And so everywhere they go, once somebody puts a microphone in their face and it's time to talk about relationships or dating or whatever, oh, they're going to defecate on black men every time. Huh? Now, it depends. If they grew up around white folks, they defecate on you because they trying to appeal to the white man for real, for real. Shout out to you, Candace Owens. They gonna make the little underhanded racist joke about black men, talk about IQ to appeal to the white men. Shout out to you once again, Candace Owens or Kim Klasick or whatever the hell. But if they grew up around black folks, oh yeah, it's get back time because you brothers wasn't choosing upon them. If they grew up around a mixed group, it's still getting back time on you brothers. Huh? What informs them is resentment that you didn't choose upon them. You brothers that they find attractive, that you didn't choose upon them. Bowser said that. I played it for y'all. Guess what? You can't find that clip of her nowhere. The only reason I was able to find it is because it was somewhere on Themis channel. She said it. When she was in high school, it wasn't just the black jocks that weren't checking for her, it was the black nerds that weren't checking for her too. Yeah, and that's what informs you now. That's why you're an asshole now towards black men. Nearly 20 years later, you're an asshole covering black men for the same reason. Huh? All those women online, all of them that are content creators, they defecated on black men now in their 30s and 40s because you weren't checking for them. You tall-looking brothers, you light-skinned or dark-skinned brothers, huh? You brothers with the waves, you brothers with the dreads, huh? You charismatic brothers, y'all weren't checking for them, or at least the ones of you, once again, that they find attractive. Y'all didn't say anything to them when we were 14, when we were 17, when we were 22, when we were 25. And now they got a little bit of money, or they're moving and shaking on these YouTube streets, on these Twitter streets, TikTok streets. They got a sizable following. Oh, they're gonna defecate on you all day, every day. What's the name of that dark-skinned sister with the dreads that every time you see her, she's talking crap on TikTok? Somebody know who I'm talking about. You know what? When you look at her, you know what the issue is. Huh? Where's your white husband, ma'am? Saint says, all these Negroes got to feel the pain. That's really what they're about. Oh, it's get back time. Yeah. Let me make sure that's the name I'm referring to. Y'all gives you a second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. No, that's not the one I'm talking about. That's not the one I'm talking about. Right? That's the you're showing me the adult film star. I'm not talking about her. It's a darker skinned one. She has dreads, and every time you see her, she's intellectualizing her misogyny. This one right here, the adult film star, she doesn't intellectualize her black misogyny. She just comes straight up the middle. That's the one that has the kid with the white supremacist. No, not her. It's one that every time you see her, as a matter of fact, I played a clip of her where an African brother was where she tried to say something like it was a video of a woman jogging in one of those marathons or running in one of those marathons. I guess her friend flew out to see her, and then you saw a little clip of her saying, "Oh, this is what we're trying to say to men," and then the African brother stops and says, like tries to, interrupt her and say, "Now what? What do we do this time?" Right? Somebody go and get her name right, but yeah. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can find it, and then I can play it for y'all so I can see who's he's talking about. Y'all give me a second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. All right, y'all. I found it. I found the clip that I'm referring to, and somebody gonna tell me what her name is on Instagram. I don't know. I mean, not on Instagram, but on TikTok. Y'all give Z a second. It's still loading up. Oh, there we go. What is this lady's name?
I just saw a video of a woman who was running in a marathon, and when she looks over, she notices a friend of hers flew in from London to watch her finish. The friend flew in for like 24 hours, and she sees the friend and she immediately starts bawling. She's like crying and running, and you could tell she's like overjoyed that her friend would do such a thing. I think sometimes when men are questioning why women are choosing to be single,
Hey, stop there. Stop there. What did men do again? How are we involved in people running and a friend going to support a friend? What did men do again? How did we get into this conversation of a friend from London to go and support the other one that is running like us? What did men do again? How did we get into this equation? How did we get into this? How?
And we're back. Huh? So that's who I'm speaking about. Because every time I see her, it's always a bad take. And like Saint Cyr says, oh, she always has terrible takes. Always. Huh? Starman says, damn, I don't know her, but isn't she married? And that don't matter. She could be married to a white man for all we care. That don't matter. Y'all watched Crystalline Kerosene throw a goddamn temper tantrum that her baby daddy wouldn't marry her, even though she was married to a white man. She threw a temper tantrum for over a decade. Huh? Crystalline Kerosene, that whole swirler thing, every swirler word that came out of Crystalline Kerosene's mouth for over a decade, damn near 2 decades, was get back because her black baby daddy wouldn't marry her. And she had a white husband, and it still didn't matter. Huh? She just now coming off that stupor over the past couple years. And by the way, it's still there. It's just not as great as it was before. She getting older. She's slowing down. Huh? So don't get it misconstrued. These women will be married. They'll be married to the white dude and still be angry. They still be throwing a temper tantrum. Huh? First, for many of them now, this is where their bread is buttered. They got to throw the red meat out there for their subscribers at least once a month. At least once in a while, they got to do it. Ain't that right, Bowser? Oops. Another thing is, as much as these women say they're not going to settle, they do. Huh? Bowser told you one of her exes, and that's if we allow for her to say that this was a boyfriend back in the day, was 6'6". 6'6". Okay, for argument's sake, let's say we believe her that this was a boyfriend. Y'all seeing her dude now? Do he look anywhere near 6'6"? Huh? The lady told you she was shallow, and then you got to see her man, and you were like, "Yitch, shallow where?" And I'm a straight man saying that. I want to be very clear. Your subscribers are going to entertain your BS, but the second they log off, they're like, "This lady is crazy." I'm talking about your female subscribers. Lady, you told us you were shallow. We expect for you to pull up with Jesse Williams or somebody. Huh? We expect you to pull up, I don't know, with Michael B. Jordan, whatever the hell, whoever the it guy is right now. Huh? Idris Elba or somebody. Huh? This is one of these throwaway lines she had on one of her streams. Because, girl, you know I'm shallow. Huh? Why shouldn't we laugh at these people sometimes? See, you can't be laughing at them. What? Why not? They still bitter about who wasn't choosing upon them in middle school and high school. Huh? All this feminist crap is just get back because they didn't get chosen high school. They weren't chosen college. How you attend Harvard? Harvard. Kentanji met her white husband in college. Bowser just now hitting with 2-3 years of relationship? Huh? Lamehoid. Anyway, on that note, y'all, we ain't gonna stress too much longer. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the thank you button for the replay squad. We ain't gonna stress this too much, y'all. It's yeah. So I wanted to play these clips for y'all because I wanted to tie everything in. I'm not gonna play the Passport OG clip again because Passport OG is here, or at least he was here. And y'all definitely check out his channel if you're not already subscribed. Subscribe to Passport OG. He does great work. Yes, right. The way if y'all think Mr. Z be connecting the dots, Passport OG is like masterful. Excuse me, chef's kiss at connecting the dots. Right? You'll see two things. You'll be like, "Ain't no way." There's no way. It's not possible. And Passport OG will do it. He'll connect the dots. Right? So shout out to Passport OG for that. But Mr. Z trying to pull my own version of Passport OG, connect the dots between Rachel, Lindsay, and Mouse by saying, number one, if the women said they don't want to get on a program, if they see being kind to their husband, their boyfriend, if they see themselves as adhering or being on the program of their husband and boyfriend, if they see that as coddling and they see that coddling as negative, then the men don't owe those women staying here in America. We will not break ourselves for them. To all the technocrats under the sound of my voice, have fun trying to get the men, white, black, Latino, Asian, or otherwise, but definitely black men, to break ourselves for these women. If you're a black technocrat, you might as well send all those women at the white men and we'll see. Huh? We'll see. Black men will SYSBM. Black men will passport bros. Huh? So I'm gonna play a couple of clips from did I delete? Okay, no, it's still here. I'm gonna play a couple of clips from what's it called? Higher Learning with Van Lathan and Rachel Lindsay, and we'll end out in a minute.
Now, I don't know. When I watch this clip, and the reason I say I pray this type of man doesn't find me for two reasons. One, because I do want somebody who looks at me more than just a mom. And I feel like that is an issue with a lot of women as they're dating. These men, there are a lot of men, let me try not to generalize, there are a lot of men who want you to step into that motherly role. They want you to take care of them just as their mother did. They want you to coddle them in those ways, rather than looking at you as somebody who you're building this partnership of life with. And it's hard out there. And that's why a lot of women, I think, these days are finding it not just hard to date, but why they choose to be single, because that is not who they want to be or spend the rest of their life with that type of person.
That was part one. Part two.
Doesn't serve at all to continue to bring it up.
But my biggest problem is the traditional stuff. Like, men gotta stop looking for a mom and look for somebody who is, if you want them to be like your mom in the sense of morals,
can't tell us what to look for,
and family oriented and things like that, I understand it. But looking for somebody to literally, I'm an adult now, I've grown out, I moved out of the house, I need somebody to fulfill the mom role for me now that I'm not living with my mom. I don't like that. I don't like how he talked about what he wanted from Hallie. Hallie was successful, she was talented, she loved you. You admit that. She was loyal to you, and that wasn't enough for you.
I don't like what he wanted from Hallie.
Making a name for herself, which I would assume, you were attracted to those things. Her, outside of her beauty, her talent and all those things, that wasn't enough for you. You wanted this. And I just hate when I see that, because I see that type of rhetoric a lot from when, not necessarily from me in dating, but with my friends that are dating. And I hate that.
Well,
We don't owe you any of it. Huh? And Cynical Optimist says, ma'am, mature men are not looking to be coddled, air quotes, coddled, let alone by women that are abusive or as neglectful as their mothers were. Oof. Oof. But here's the thing. They see coddling as anything that's not them just being their quote unquote authentic selves, which is just mean, shrewd assholes. Just mean, shrewd, condescending assholes. And because the men said, I don't got to deal with this, especially the men with some money, well-resourced black men said, I don't got to deal with this. You not on my program. You talking to me all type of crazy. I don't got to deal with this. Plane ticket. Huh? Because you want her to cook, you want to be coddled. Plus you want her to clean up, you want to be coddled. The women said, I ain't going to do it. The men said, I bet. Be alone with your Rolls toy then. Huh? And Rachel Lindsay says, stop looking for a mother. If you want to call that mothering, so be it. We said we want what we want. We want pepperoni pizza. If you're not going to make pepperoni pizza, then go munch on each other then. Go take your chances out there with non-black men. You could call us all type of child, all type of boy, all type of... You shouldn't want... Imagine telling a grown-ass, you shouldn't want... Yeah, right. Huh?
The amount of anger you have, it's not my fault. It's not the men's fault. It's not the market's fault. It's not my fault why you're so angry.
Shout out to Destro.
Doesn't serve at all to continue to bring it up.
But my biggest problem is the traditional stuff. Like, men gotta stop looking for a mom and look for somebody who is, if you want them to be like your mom in the sense of morals and values and family oriented and things like that, I understand it. But looking for somebody.
We don't owe you none of that, what you said. And to hell with your homegirls are going through. Your girlfriends, your homegirls. Either you get on a black man's program or y'all go deal with y'all go deal with. Go find those quote unquote progressive white men over there. The Latinos and the Asians, if I'm not mistaken, they're in LA, right? Go make it work. If y'all can't make it work, so be it. Be single. You said this is why so many of my girlfriends are single. Okay. And
now, I don't know. When I watch this clip, and the reason I say I pray this type of man doesn't find me for two reasons. One, because I do want somebody who looks at me more than just a mom. And I feel like that is an issue with a lot of women as they're dating. These men, there are a lot of men, let me try not to generalize. There are a lot of men who want you to step into that motherly role. They want you to take care of them just as their mother did. They want you to coddle them in those ways rather than looking at you as somebody who you're building this partnership of life with. And it's hard out there. And that's why a lot of women, I think,
we're not doing partners.
It's not just hard to date, but why they choose to be single, because that is not who they want to be or spend the rest of their life with that type of person.
Hey, we're okay with your friends choosing to be single. Shrugs. Huh? Shrugs. And hopefully your friends earn enough. They earn enough. Because the majority of women, black and Latina women who never marry are the least wealthy in the U.S. That's where the majority of women are, Miss Lindsay. Hopefully it worked for you. Huh? So shout out to Paspero G. Shout out to Destro. Huh? And I'm gonna actually cover another clip from Higher Learning with Van Lathan. Hey man, he had, what's the other homegirl that be with him? Mandy B, the other light-skinned one. He had her tearing up and crying. Mandy B want to play hard with being this single thing and not being in traditional relationships. That's cool with you. Other homegirl cracked though. Y'all see what Mr. Z is speaking about in a little bit. Huh? Yikes. So on that note, y'all, I want to bring this to y'all, tie mouse to Rachel Lindsay, to emphasize their issue is that you won't marry and subsidize or at least take care of financially these mean, rude, condescending, shrewd, calculated, materialistic, consumerist, asshole women. In our case, namely black women. Huh? Saints here, you have no, I ain't gonna highlight it, but Saints here, you have no idea how close I came to making that the thumbnail. I came so close to making that the thumbnail. Huh? Just saying. But yeah, so the ladies are gonna struggle. They don't appreciate the men don't owe them that. Huh? The men don't owe you none of that, what y'all talking about, ladies. You owe men nothing. Your issue is that the technocrats in your mind didn't do a good enough job indoctrinating the men to eat this. The men watch their fathers, their uncles, maybe even their grandfathers, their older guy cousins, they watch them get shredded. They watch them get shredded with child support. They watch them get shredded with alimony. They watch that divorce shred him, knock him on his ass. And the young men said, I ain't going. What's young Z? Anything under the age of 50? And in your case, the way you think, it only gets worse. It's even worse for under 45. It's even worse for under 40. It's even worse for under 35. It's even worse for under 30. It's even worse for under 25. The young men, I'll end out with this. Young men, namely young black men, we are not. The black manosphere, those of us that talk and think like this, we are not recruiting. We are not handing out pamphlets and postcards and notes. Come to this building at this time. That's not what's happening. We are not recruiting. Your sons and the young men are coming over here because of you as their mother, as their aunt, as their grandmother, as their girl cousin, as their ex-girlfriend, as their ex-wife. The men, namely the young men, are coming over here because of you and your daughters. Your 13, 15, 17, 18, 21, 23-year-old daughters are red pilling the men. It's not us. I want to stress that to you, FD. You already know that. I'm only telling him what he already knows. Consciously, foreign, all you white women too. If your sons are listening into Z, they were red pill when they got here. They may not have had all the language. They may have not known all the customs, or at least the words and the verbiage. Huh? But they were red pill when they got here. They came here because they don't believe nothing you saying. They came here if their dad's part of their life because they don't believe anything their dad is saying. If they're listening to Z, appreciate Z is not recruiting anyone. Huh? So, okay, y'all. We'll pause right there. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. Rachel, Lindsay, you can't make us. Mouse, you can't make us. Shout out to the Passport Bros. Shout out to the SYSBM. Mr. Z know he got lucky, and we're about to see in a minute. Huh? All right, y'all. Mr. Z out.